I don't know, I'm bored of equal footing. It's not Ghost Lake or Mountain Crossing, so it's boring. I like Great Lake, but I don't know. I feel like if I express that view too much, people will hunt me down and kill me for it. But I actually like Great Lake. Anyway, spawning at the bottom side of the map. As the blue Norse player, Babylonian player today, we've got Alundra as our blue trunks. Then in the red trunks, as the Celtic player at the top side of the map, player number 2, we've got Taz, so give it up for him. Got a barracks coming out from Taz. Alundra already has his barracks on the way, so it'll be an interesting game, I think. These guys are going to be able to mount quite a bit of aggression against one another, I think. Alundra actually transferring 5 villagers there. He's got another ox cart on the way, actually going for a villager on his barracks there, so he's going to try and speed that one up just a little bit and then send both these villagers down here to gather at the trees. And Alundra just confirming that Taz is starting out with the barracks, and he's probably thinking, great, that means I've got to deal with spears instead of just the Celt player moving straight onto longswords or only getting the spears to defend against lances. So actually means that Alundra can push in with spears and get some good value out of that, because again, the Babylonian spears at 60 costs, even though they are quite an expensive commitment, they are a really strong unit, so they'll even trade quite well into counter infantry compared to other spearmen, for instance. So there's one of them heading over the map, 250 health, 11 damage, a nice balance between health and damage. I think the Norse spearmen have 260, but they've got 1 less damage, and then like the Celt, they've got 100 less health for 1 more damage. So figure that one out. Nah, it's because of the cost differences as well. But Alundra going for his first spear straight onto his opponent's hunt, and this is not going to be great for Alundra because the wolf is going to be able to make it easier for Taz to actually win this trade. He's going to be able to pick off that spear just a little bit faster. 2 10 damage units chipping away at that. That's basically like having another 4 villagers doing that. Poor Alundra here, because Taz hasn't had to deal with the wolves at all. Alundra has. So they probably cost Alundra 50 health already out of all that. Another spear coming in, but it's going to take a fight 2v1, and this is not great. Even the Babylonian spears aren't capable of this. They're not that strong, guys. They're strong, they're not overpowered. Okay, now 3 to 3. Now this is a fight the Babylonian player wants to take, and the Celt player needs to continually add more spears in just to keep the numbers in his favour, because his spears are going to die that much faster than these really tanky Babylonian spears. But in saying that, now that it's 2 to 4, it's going to really look towards Taz's favour. But Taz doesn't have a huge amount of economy behind this, and I think he must have stopped gathering for a sec there. Alundra actually is a little bit of a score lead over his opponent. It's 17 villagers to 14 right now. So I think Taz might have been a little bit under in terms of what he needed for his food production, food income then, to maintain his production. Alundra is going to get some more spears out, and even though there is 6 Celt spears in the way, Alundra is going to be able to come in with 3 Bab spears, 4 Bab spears now, and be able to take a fight, I think. Although he needs to be very careful to not lose any one of them. If he needs to micro back his other spears in behind this one, so it's actually the furthest of the pack. Because losing that like that actually means that he no longer really has a good advantage. Because if you've got 6 versus 4 and your units cost the same amount, 1 to 1.5, then you've actually got the same value army with less population. So it actually is slightly favoured to you. But here we go. Taz is not going to be able to interrupt this, I don't think. Yeah, Alundra does get it up in time. He's going to pick all the spears off. Another couple of spears do come in, but they're only going to be able to deal a light amount of damage, I think. There is already 7 Bab spears again. So Alundra is doing a good job of building up those behind this. He needs to get another villager out, though. He's got the resources to be able to do so. He's actually gathering a hunt up here. So that's a very dangerous hunt to be taking. Taz is going to probably try and come back in here. Or actually try and sneak his spears the whole way around his opponent's base. He's going to have the speed too, so the Celt has got 7 speed compared to the 6 of the Babylonian. And this fight, well, it's not one Taz wants to stick around for, because if he does, he's going to lose these 3 spears for nothing. Meanwhile, another 2 spears coming in here to do a little bit of harass. They might actually get this villager of Alundra, so this is quite nice for Taz. He does trade a spear for a villager, so that's a good trade for Taz. Right now, Alundra just having his spears chase Taz's, but it's not a position he wants to be in for very long. The quicker he can get onto lances, the better. He's getting the stables now. He probably didn't necessarily need to get the range, but it is going to mean that Taz might have to get some slingers in his army mix and can't just play around pure infantry. But Taz only just now getting his age 2. Villager count 23 for him, 24 for Alundra right now. So he did get a spearman, and Alundra probably hasn't been producing villagers as good as he could be, because he really should have been 3 up, considering it doesn't cost him any villager production time to age up as Babylonian, whereas it does for Celt, Greek, Celt, Greek, Norse and Persia. But this is a good fight for Alundra to be taking. I don't know why he's not even just going straight on the spearmen and then turning around on the villagers, because even though he can force the villagers to do a bit of a dance, if he can kill the spears now, he saves himself having to fight them with lances later on. And he's not going to get out of this in time. He's going to lose one of these spearmen at least. It's been a very fun game to cast so far. Good job, guys. Keep the aggression up. This is a good matchup, though. It's a really fun matchup to play and to cast. Maybe not so fun for the Celt, but it's immensely fun for Babylonian. Celt's just not very fun against any of the cavalry dominant civs. If you're not feeling confident against who you're playing against, just because of the nature of playing against cavalry using an infantry comp. But otherwise, it's probably one of my favourite matchups, you know, to play on either side or to cast. And this is an interesting mix. There's plenty of spears here for Alundra still. He can't actually get a counter infantry unit, but the spears aren't nearly as good in a sense. They are a high value infantry for age 1 and age 2. And there is a lancer in the mix. There needs to be more lancers though, because the more of them there are, the harder it is for Alundra to actually respond to this, because he's got to produce spears, but then he doesn't have the longswords to actually fight against the Babylonian spears. And right now the bowmen here are able to really whittle down everything. The longswords aren't much tankier than the spears under the bowman fire, and the slingers don't have really much of a front line left, so Alundra is actually really pushing straight over the top of Taz at the moment. Taz actually having to rally off his main gold mine onto another one at this stage. Really quick in him doing that. Really good reactions from him, because he didn't actually take any damage to his villagers that whole time. He's got enough to actually fill up his queue with a couple of long swordsmen. Fair bit of... Oh, he needs to actually cancel a couple of these long swordsmen so he can produce some slingers. And right now, Taz has actually really been overwhelmed by Alundra. Alundra's gonna do it. Gonna beat his opponent in 10 minutes. Taz is scrambling to keep producing these slingers, but he's called the GG. Wow, Alundra's Babylonian is looking pretty good. So Taz, our Celt player, actually did get his age 2 town centre out. Actually 23 villages to 31 though, because Alundra able to get a lot of kills. Taz's economy wasn't quite as tip-top as Alundra's, and oh, hello birdie. Look at that little birdie. Look at that. Anyway, yeah, quite a solid game from Alundra really. Small lead at the start, big lead by the end of the game. So villagers trained. Alundra always up by 1 in the beginning just because of the ox carts. But yeah, it seemed that with that couple of early kills of villagers, he was really able to build himself a bit of momentum there and win the game from that. Taz said he wanted to start the HG building so bad, and I think that might have been the undoing in a sense. Maybe Taz overcommitted to trying to take that, because then from then it seemed as though he was sort of behind on the army population. So GG, well played, guys. Yeah, good job, Alundra. Thanks to Taz for coming for that one today, but yeah, well played to Alundra. Well played to Taz too, but yeah, GG. We'll go to intermission and we'll see what's happening with our game number 3 today.